皆さんこんにちは。Thank you very much. My name is JD. I'm very happy to be here for this year's Japan Partner Conference. And today I would like to share with you how we successfully build so many co-sales wins with Microsoft, especially in the Greater China region, especially Taiwan. How we gonna develop the AI solution, AI chatbot solution, and fulfill the last mile delivery for our customers. We like to share the story with you, and we like to share what we have done, and we like to share what we are going to do in the second half of this conversation. So my name is JD. My company is Intuit, and this is the agenda for today. I will introduce my company to you and what we are doing and how we work with Microsoft and how Microsoft is so important to us in our technology and the business roadmap. And I want to share with you some success cases. And finally, I'd like to share with you what we are going to do. We call conversational AI, from the chatbot to conversational AI, and how we join the revolution that this morning, Ms. Gabriela Schuster talking about the Microsoft digital transformation for every company. So you can see I divided it into 4 parts. One is a modern workplace. The second part is business application. And the third part is application and infrastructure. And finally, the data and AI. Those 4 parts are what this morning Ms. Schuster mentioned about how Microsoft is going to help every company to do the digital transformation. And my name is JD. Let me introduce myself. I studied at MIT and get my PhD in 1998. And after that, I was actually a professor at the National Taiwan University. And I started up Intuit, this company, in 1999, and together with a bunch of friends. So it's been in business for almost 20 years. And last year, I was invited by Microsoft to become their Microsoft AI Developer Advisory Board in Washington, Redmond, Seattle. So this is very basic information about the background about myself. And last month, I was invited to Microsoft Inspire in Las Vegas. I actually met many Japanese friends from all over the world, the Microsoft developers around the world. And I was very lucky, just like today, I have a session to share what we have done on the Microsoft Azure platforms. So this is what happened last month. And my company, it's a company about almost 20 years old. So we have done a lot of work. And recently, our chatbot solution, AI chatbot solution, covers about almost 80% of the Taiwan financial industries. So in other words, if you go to Taiwan and you walk on the street, and most of the banks are my customers, and of course, Microsoft customers. So I'd like to share the story with you today. And also, we have a partner here. In order to better help our Japanese customer partners, we have a partner, IDReses, and the CEO, Hasegawa-san, is here. Please say hello to everyone. Yeah. And in the future, we can work with the IDReses together, and we know how to help you here locally and how to share our success stories with you through the IDReses. And my company, working closely with Microsoft, we are part of Microsoft Teams global partner, 150 company globally. Intuit is one of them. And last year, we are the Microsoft top valuable ISV in FY17, and we are now entering FY19, right? And also, this one is more important. The Gartner last year, my company, Intimate, was selected by Gartner as the only 4 company. As you can see here, are 4 companies, only 4 company. And Intimate is the only company from Taiwan selected as the core vendor of analytics in Greater China region. So we are very happy to enter Gartner's radar screen. And I think through the Gartner's endorsement, I think we are very in a good position to continue to develop our solution to help more of our customers use with good technologies. And my company pretty much focused on the following technologies: natural language processing, and that's the key. And 5 years ago, we started to use the tools for the deep learning and search engine and speech recognition. Those are just very basic, very fundamental AI technologies. And the way we see the AI can be divided into several parts. The first one is image processing. That's the most interesting and the most challenging part. But I also see this as the most useful part in the AI. So smart vision, as you can see, our solution. Smart robot, that's what I'm going to share today, which is commercially successful. And the solution has, we have garnered a lot of experience in promoting these platforms. And also, through the past 2 decades, we also developed some solutions for smart recommendation, voice optimization, KYC, like know your customer. It's all most likely text analytics, natural language processing. And as you know, deep learning, well, what you can see here is actually a bottom-up approach. If you want to help your customer to develop AI solution, basically you need data, right? And if you are a software company, you probably don't have the data. If you are the university department, a research department, you probably don't have the data. Your customer has the data. So the approach on the left-hand side is a very typical AI approach, which I call the bottom-up approach. You need to ask your customer to provide the data. Without the data, you have CNTK, TensorFlow, PyTorch. You probably can do nothing. So you need data first, and now go all the way up to your applications through layers of the software tools, right? So that's the typical part. But generally, it's going to become pretty hard when as you are a software company or you are a service provider company, you want to use this approach. Because this approach is going to take a lot of time to organize the data, to find the data, to get your customer to prepare the data for you. So this is going to become really, really challenging. For our experience, for the past 3 years, 4 years, we thought this approach, our customer feel not so easy to do it. And later, I will show you how we use Microsoft AI to make it happen easily, to facilitate company adopt the AI solution easier, faster, and less painful. That's what I'm going to share with you. Okay, so this is natural language. I just let you get a feeling. Everybody uses this approach, right? I don't think there's much secret behind the natural language processing, context analysis, grammar. If you have any open source tools, you basically you got a whole bunch of tools to run this. So next one, I'm going to enter. The first topic is the smart robot. How we develop this chatbot solution. How we help our customers to run a successful projects. Basically, what you see right now here in the middle is our solution. It's a pretty big piece of software which has a kernel, handles everything. Actually, you can see from this page, right? So it's quite complicated from behind. It has a knowledge management in the bottom, and in order to help build a chatbot. Some people say, sometimes you hear the advertisement say that you can build a chatbot service in 3 days, okay? I think that's not possible. It's just like people, you cannot learn English. You cannot learn how to speak Chinese in three weeks, something like that. No, it's not. Our company, our partners, our customer, they day after day try to make the chatbots better for years, not for days, okay? So this is quite complicated. If you want your chatbot to really go online, go live, and help your customer, and thousands of customers come to use it on a daily basis, you need a lot of work behind. You cannot do it in a few days. So I just want to show you, it's a lot of a complicated structure behind. If you want to build your solution to be really commercially and helpful for your customer to provide a good chatbot services. So the scenario is very simple. Basically, you provide a bot, right? Now everybody do the same. You provide a bot, and perhaps 80% of the questions will be answered by the chatbot, right? 80% will be answered by chatbot, and 20% cannot be answered. So most of your chatbot solution now connect to your call center, okay? For the 20% cannot be answered, you direct to the call center, let the people help you for the rest of 20%, okay? And you have different channels like Line Messenger, Facebook Messenger. Perhaps you have other devices like Sony will have Eyeball, right? And SoftBank will have that Pepper and so many smart speaker from China. If you travel to China, you stay in the Beijing airport, you go to a bookstore, you see the whole bunch of smart speakers. 5, 6 brands, Xiaomi and everything is now smart speakers everywhere in China. So that's the interface between customer and your service. But now we need a software to handle all those conversations from behind. And in case it cannot be solved, then we connect to people. And here just some simple example, okay? Question, answer, question, answer. You have question and answer, question, answer. And devices. Most of our customers, they first publish their chatbot on the homepage. And the traffic is about so-so. Nowadays, not so many people using the PC unless you stay in the coffee shop or in the office. Now you're on the go, you're on the go, so you use the mobile phone. And when you use the mobile phone, you have several options. One is to use your Line Messenger, which is most popular. You use Facebook Messenger or use Apply, right? Use an app as a channels. So we support all these channels. And let me share with you, in our experience, WeChat or Line Messenger are most popular channel. Whenever your chatbot available on those channels, your traffic will go up like 10, 20 times more traffic. So I strongly recommend you to put everything on those channels. The consumer just like it. The consumer cannot stop using it in those messengers on the daily basis. So that's our experience. And now we are going to talk about how we're going to do from the regular voice command. Just like if you say, you ask a chatbot, how's the weather in Tokyo, right? And you're going to give you the answer. Today is very hot. Probably there will be a typhoon coming next week or something, right? So that's the basic questions. And then your next question will be, and then how about Osaka? You are still asking weather, right? That's called context, okay? And now the machine's trained or to be configured to understand the context, so to better capture your intent, which is still, a lot of work to do, and so easy to do so. But I believe people are now moving from left-hand side to right-hand side. And the key here is you need a very powerful cloud platforms like Azure, to handle those requests. So continuously, the customer, you are on the go. You are moving between screens. You are moving from PC to mobile phone and to your smart speaker, to Alexa, to different devices, to your Cortana, to your different devices, or even including, you see on the TV, the Google Assistants. So no matter where you go, you are moving on the right-hand side. So you have to be continuously understand you And so that's the challenge, and we call this as a conversational AI. Okay, so let me share you some success cases here. In Taiwan, as I mentioned to you, we have very successful market share in Taiwan. About 80% of the Taiwan banks, top banks, using our solutions. So this is a very successful experience for my company and the Microsoft Taiwan and Greater China. And also now, not just banks, you know, in Taiwan and China, people are really crazy about the chatbot services. The company are continually investing, for example, like Citibank, for example, Asia Pacific. They continue investing more and more services on the Line Messenger because they consider the Line Messenger, Facebook Messenger will be the future of their contact with their consumers, right? The key point is that they have to provide their service not on the appli, but on the Line Messenger, Facebook Messenger. And what would be the interface? It has to be like a conversation based. So that's the our experience. And moreover, let me share the experience with you. Some of our customers now already enter the 5th year or 4th year of their project. Some people like to ask me, JD, is there a chatbot project successful or not? Well, let me tell you, all of our customers are continuing investing. None of them stop. Everyone is accelerating, not reducing. So that's the trend we see so far. So now, after the banks, the service spread to other industries, like a power company, Taiwan power company, pharmaceutical company, and government. You know, the government now, I'd like to use chatbot to help their citizens to understand, to communicate with the citizens. So this is what happened, our success cases. Okay, and just as I mentioned, why the company continue investing? What's the value they see from provide commercial chatbot services? Chatbot is very, is it the right direction to go? Well, you can see from the number here. My customer now, on the daily basis, 80% of the inquiry from the customer will be answered by machine. Only 20% is left to the human beings. So they are happy about this 80% performance. And also the agent, their loading went down. Okay, they don't have to spend so much time answer simple questions. They now switch to difficult questions, or they spend more time communicating, helping customers solve difficult problems. So each day the request goes up, pretty high, and 50% reduced service time. This is the real number coming from one or two of my key customers. And more important, 90% customer happy. Okay, so you have to put a like, don't like, good or bad, in that button. And 90% people say, okay, pretty much they like this service, and they like the company to continue improving and make it better. Okay, so this is a case I already show you. This is already what happened. So many banks, so many customers at this moment. And now spreading to some other industries, like IT help desk, which is the major topic I'm going to share with you in the second half of this talk. And also the front desk, front desk is the one. Government services, healthcare. There are several international pharmaceutical companies. They want to provide chatbot service for their customers. The reason is very simple. There are just too many wrong information in the social media, right? If you take a medicine or you take something, you have some problem about your health, do you like to search on the internet to look at what people are talking about on the social network? It could be wrong, it could be fake, right? So now people start to avoid that kind of indirect communication. Now they want their customer talk to their own chatbot, and they provide the official, correct, right information directly. So, and also that's the health. Marketing. marketing, I will share some marketing case with you later. It starts from call center, right? But the call center is inbound. People call from outside for the service. The marketing is the outbound. They want to reach out to their customer. And what would be the most effective way to reach out for their customer? Chatbot could be the one, okay? So that's the success cases. So that's the first part of this talk. So I just quickly go through those slides. You already see this. We have airline. We have a travel, tourism. We have, in many cases, in Japan, there are so many Chinese visitors. They speak Chinese. And if they want to enjoy the hotel service, if they want to enjoy transportation services, if you can provide a Chinese chatbot, which is going to become really helpful for them, right? And the same idea applied to China and other area. They have to provide the Japanese-speaking chatbot for the Japanese visitors. So this is very helpful for the tourism industries. And this is another case, just different interfaces. And just one more cases. Each case may use different technology integrations. Some people like to use voice. Some people like to face recognition, for example. So different cases you can see from here. And smart city, the government. How you call this city is a smart city. You probably want to go visit this city and you want to go anywhere, and so you can get a lot of information. Your hotline services, you have chatbot services, you get to know the traffic, transportation information, everything easily. So chatbot could be naturally for them. So now we have this in the Taoyuan city. Taoyuan city is the city where you go to Taiwan. When you landed on the Taoyuan International Airport, that's the city. And also the Taipei city, that's the capital. You go downtown Taipei, that's also using our solution for the citizens to provide the information. Suppose there's a flooding, recently there's a big flooding in southern Taiwan, and those chatbots play a big role to notify the information, the right information for their citizens. Okay, and we have, together with IDRSs, we have a success case here in Japan, and so our system runs in the Japanese, no problem at all. In case you have any question, please feel free to let us know. I'd like to share this success case with you. And finally, the Alexa Echo Show. This is another project we are doing. Just want to let you know, there are so many devices available, right? And if you build Alexa Echo Show, Amazon will tell you, oh, you have to do Alexa skills, right? But your customer wouldn't want to do this. Your customer wants a platform which is running on, for example, Microsoft platform, and they can build their knowledge once, no matter how many devices you have, right? You have Alexa Echo today, tomorrow you have a Google Home. If you go to Pico Camera, you see all the Google Home devices everywhere. The next day, you have another new devices like a Xiaomi from China or something. So many devices. You don't want to build your knowledge elsewhere, spreading around. You just need one platform. You want to build your knowledge in a single platform and let the platform handle all those details for you. Some of these devices comes with speaker, voice input. Some of the devices comes with screen. Some don't have screen. Each hardware configuration, you will have to handle the detail differently. So this is what we have done in Alexa Echo Show. You don't have to do anything on the Alexa skills, which is gonna, put you upside down. You have to change what you have done before and move everything to Alexa. But Alexa skill may not work in other, like Line Messenger or somewhere else. People don't want to do that. People just want to spend one time, maintain their knowledge, and afterwards you take care of everything. Okay, so this is the case. Okay, that's the first part of my sharing. And now we are going to enter the second part. As I mentioned to you, this is what I call chatbot 2.0. Chatbots used to be people understand like question answer. That's one. That's one definition. But now people are trying to make most out of chatbot to do more things. Here, I'd like to share with you how we're going to enter. So So what you heard is what we have done, right? Now is what we are going to do. And I look forward to work with all of you. And you are a Microsoft partner. We can together to enable this digital transformation. So from Microsoft point of view, they want to do, well, you hear Gabriela say today, they want to help everyone perform better, do more, something like that, right? So they have a process like this: empower employee, engage customers, optimize operation, transform product. It looks abstract, but let's break it down into the several pieces. This is the most important thing I'd like to share with you is what I call the next generation of the chatbots. You see our solution in the middle, right? Which is still the same, right? I just shared with you, that's what we have done in the middle. Let me see if I can have a pointer here, but it seems there's no pointer, but it's okay, just in the middle, right? So it's still the same. But for the customer, we are building more and more connected to Line Messenger, Facebook Messenger, Google Home, and all kinds of devices. We don't know what kind of devices will become successful in the future. We don't know if Alexa will become, everyone has one at home in Japan or in China, in US. We are not sure about that. But our customer is a bank. Our customer is a government. They are corporation. They just want to provide the knowledge in the AI platforms, smart robot AI platforms. And we take care of those connectors for them, right? So we have that connectors to the customers, consumers. On the right-hand side, we are integrating our services with everything you can think of. I will share with you Office 365. I will share with you Microsoft Dynamics. I will share with you Graph API, how we use everything on the Microsoft Azure to connect to the chatbot. So our idea is to help the company, if you have back office application, how use chatbot to get through to direct connect to the customers, okay? So this part is easy to understand. Now, on the top left, you can see two things. One is I already explained to you, the bottom-up approach of AI, right? The left-hand side. Now, we use Microsoft AI instead. Why? Because just as I mentioned to you, your customer, if you ask them to start from scratch, to start their AI approach, it's going to take months or even years to prepare the data. And nobody see the results. And if the results no good, people may feel very frustrated why it's no good. So that kind of bottom-up approach, 1 or 2 out of my 10 customers wouldn't just try it, but 80%, 90% of my customers would do this approach in the middle. They use the ready-to-use AI services from Microsoft. Suppose you want to do facial recognition. What would you do? You call the API, and then you finish this work in 3 days. You don't want to start from scratch to train your own model, train your own data. If you want to do voice recognition, Microsoft Voice can do quite well, although it needs a little bit work to make it work. If you're interested how to make it, to enhance Microsoft Voice from 60%, 70% to 95%, I certainly can share our story with you. So now it comes with the next generation. Still, the customer maintain the knowledge in the middle, and we provide more connector to the front. And then we provide more connector to customer data center back office. And we use the ready-to-use Microsoft AI to help our customer, to shorten the time of delivery, to help our customer to see the result earlier, as soon as possible. Don't jump into the kind of a long-term AI circle, and then they cannot really see the result. I think that's the most important thing of Microsoft AI services. Okay, so this is so we start from Microsoft Teams, okay? We already integrate with Microsoft Teams. So I think this part is quite easy to understand. And Teams is a messenger, right? So if you use Teams, we suppose you are in the intranet. Only the team members, only the Office 365 user can share this information. So it's secure, it's not for the outside customers. So based on those ideas, we start to develop several applications. For the HR, for example, there are some Taiwan companies start to use this as an HR bot. So the HR department will connect their chatbot to their PeopleSoft applications. They have a PeopleSoft as their HR applications. So, but now they provide the chatbot for their employees. They have thousands of employees. They don't need to learn the complicated PeopleSoft software anymore. And they have any question, they just ask. So HR is one. IT help desk is another one. I will share with you the Office 365 later. So IT help desk. So if you have any question about your company's IT systems, instead of making the call, now you ask a chatbot, you get the answer, you get help, 24 hours. And also the salesperson outside, we have an insurance company using our solution. If you have any instance on the road, you take a picture and then send this message back to a headquarters, and the chatbot will help you to find the related document and information. So it's getting more and more application inside the teams, and it's really, really helpful. That's the first we call a modern workplace with teams. And the second one is the Office 365. If we have a chatbot service for Office 365, which means what? Which means that if your employee are now, or your customer, they are introducing Office 365, right? But introducing Office 365 to their company could be painful because they have a lot of questions, need your help. The IT department need help. So we built a chatbot service for Office 365. We have thousands of knowledge points behind these services. So in case you have any question, how come I cannot open my PowerPoint 2007? Why something wrong with my Excel? You can ask questions. So if you're, here is the key point is, if you are the Office 365 resellers, these tools really increase more value for your service. You help your customer, and you provide the chatbot service, help desk service for them. So the Office 365 is another important thing we are doing, and it turns out to be quite, now we have several projects going on and quite successful. I have a customer, which is a bank. They have 9,000 employees. Now they are using this for internal Office 365 help desk. Turn out to be pretty great. Okay, this is the English interface. Oh, by the way, we have a Japanese English and the Chinese interfaces at this moment. Okay, so next one is Dynamics, business application. How we integrate a robot, a chatbot with Dynamics. Okay, as you know, Dynamics has several parts. Today we only talked about CRM part. Your chatbot is talking to your customer, but most of the chatbot so far in the market, you can see, no matter what technology you use, you can use Watson, you can use Amazon technology, you can use Microsoft technology, you can use some special technology from NTT, for example. No matter what the technology is that, the chatbot eventually has to be linked to your CRM systems, which is a must because your chatbot is talking to your customers. So now we already integrate our chatbot with Dynamics. So this is a great integration because you can see, I'm sorry, okay, oh, okay. You can see from here, okay. Okay, here are just a simple case. Your chatbot talks to customer, right? And the customer says something, right? Your customer always says something to the chatbot. And when the customer says something, like, my wife wants to buy a mutual fund, which is gonna become the investment for our children's education or something. Yeah, chatbot can ask anything, right? If you have a financial advisor, robo-advisor, for example. And given that conversation, the customer says something. And the chatbot now is smart enough to understand the context, the reason behind this conversation. You say my wife, so you are male, right? So I know your gender. And you say for the baby, so you're probably like between 30, 40 regularly, right? And if you say something about the education fund, which means that you are looking for long-term investment. So through the conversation, you know more about your customer, okay? You know who are you talking to. The bot is very smart, and we store those information into the dynamics. And then we use some neural network techniques to search people by people, very much like a LinkedIn algorithm, actually. If you use LinkedIn a lot, we actually learn a lot from the LinkedIn algorithm to find the right person. So, we can do the people by people marketing quite effectively. So turn out that, we add value for your Dynamics services. Dynamics is getting smarter. Dynamics is able, through the chatbot, Dynamics is able to collect more information, and increase consumption. No, that's most important as a Microsoft partner, right? Okay, so this is what we call KYC, know your customer. Okay, so we have several cases going on, and the integration is turned out to be great. Okay, here are just some screenshot cases for your information. Okay, because of time, I probably got to speed up a little bit. Okay, so if you are a reseller of Dynamics, I think our integration will be really helpful for you. You are not just sell Dynamics against other solutions like Salesforce.com or some other CRM systems. Now, your Dynamics CRMs integrate with a ready-to-use chatbot, and your customer buy the Dynamics 365, and they will have a chatbot ready, fully integrated, and put it on the Line Messenger, Facebook Messenger, and talk to their customers efficiently. So this is our second idea for you. And also the Graph API. Okay, now we enter the infrastructure. As you know, if you are the Microsoft, Microsoft is going to, if everyone use Office 365 in the future, you're going to see actually the data structure, the infrastructure behind is the Graph API, right? So we now integrate the SharePoint. If you sell the SharePoint, okay, SharePoint now called SharePoint Online. Everything's in the cloud, okay? So how are you going to retrieve this information? Through the Graph API. So your data is now on the cloud. So if you want to do anything, like, for example, integrate with your workflow or integrate with your other systems, Graph API is one. So we start to use this Graph API together with our partner, Densan, Nagano Densan. This is our very important partner. We work with them and start to deliver this solution for our customers. So you can see that this is called Knowledge Graph. Okay? So that's the one part. But I personally see they are much stronger. This is just like 5%, 3% of the Graph API. Graph API is a big effort. It's a big initiative. It's going to make Microsoft Cloud really intelligent, really, really smart in the future. So we are developing more applications using Graph API. SharePoint is just a small part. We are going to do more things. For example, the chatbot will be able to find the files for you, right? Through the conversation, you don't do search anymore. Search keyword is lousy. I mean, takes a lot of time to find the documents. In the future, you can tell the chatbot, say, find the picture for me I took at Hokkaido last week. Okay, you get a whole bunch of pictures. Because you save those files through the Graph API. Now we retrieve it through the Graph API with conversations. So that's exactly what we are doing here in SharePoint, also in Office 365 help desks. Okay, so this is Nagano Densan, my partner. So if you have any questions, please contact with them. We welcome your inquiry. And finally, this is data and AI. This is just as I mentioned. Nowadays, if you, a customer, want to do AI, I would suggest do the top-down approach instead of doing the bottom-up approach. Microsoft provides cognitive services, right? You can see the list. Frankly speaking, most of the services, I don't think they are ready for a business application without optimization. You cannot just call the API and you get the answer satisfactory enough for your customers. You need to do something anyway. You need to do the final last mile delivery. That's what I talked today. You use the API, which is essentially, do you know the reason why? The reason is very simple. Because Microsoft trained those API services using the general public data, their data, not your customer's data, right? So it couldn't possibly, those kind of interface, the result could be as good as you train your customer's own data. But training AI model using your own customer data, as I mentioned, take a long time. It's going to be really horrendously painful to run it for a few months, a few years. So use this one, it's easier. But you still have to do some optimization work to make it usable. So that's our idea. And it turns out to be great. 80%, 90% of our customers, they prefer this approach. And that's why we really drive up the Microsoft AI usage because we are now know how to optimize it. Okay, so here are just some example. I quickly, because of time, I gotta quickly just show you those examples. Okay, so the results, and then we analyze it and show it, visualize it. That's it. So here are just a summary for today, and here are just the reason why how we work with Microsoft. This is an experience for all of you, and we consider Microsoft is a really, really great partner. They help partners, and they have their platform technologies. But as a developer, we have to help our customer to finish the last mile delivery. The last mile delivery is from the Microsoft cutting edge AI technology and your customer needs, there's a little gap. There's a little gap, maybe just 1 mile away. And you have to fulfill that 1 mile and make it commercially available and competitive in this context. So that's the story I share with you just now about the Office 365, Dynamics 365, Graph API, and the cognitive services. Okay, so I got to wind up. So this is why my company is competitive, and yeah, this is just a commercial language, but it's really, really true. How we move in this direction, and we really confident about writing ourselves on top of the Azure platform, because Azure is really, really a great platform for a company to rely on, for a customer to rely on. And finally, I like to know what we are looking for. So I'd like to let you know, if you are a system integrator, our solution is great for you to help your customer to enable the chatbot service, for example. And if you are the Office 365, Dynamics 365 resellers, please come to see us. We can help you to increase more value through the Office 365 help desk, Office Dynamics integration. So your sales of Office 365, the value will be increased. We'll become more competitive. If you are a Graph API developer, then our experience or our technology can help you to add more values. And if you are the system integrators, I think it's perfect for us to work together to come up with better ideas. The reason is simple. We need to, if you have only any innovative ideas from yourself or from your customers, we work together to make it happen. And we use the Azure as our platform to make it happen. So I'm not sure if I can take any questions. Do you have any questions so far? I still have about 1-2 minutes. Okay, so if you don't have any question, I thank you so much for your patience, for your time today. And you can download these files through this barcode easily. So if you can just use this to download the files. So I thank you so much for your time. And I'll be back I will always come to Tokyo anytime. So welcome to connect with me, and we can work together to help each other to win, help more co-sale wins, to win in the market and to win in the future. Thank you very much. どうもありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。